Welcome back to Orange Blossom Healing, the channel where I am excited to help you feel better with diet and lifestyle. Today we are going to talk all about the free health hack of breathing. Believe it or not, this is something you can do consciously and can actually improve your health. To support our breathing, we are going to make a meal that supports the health of our lungs. So a delicious beetroot and pumpkin autumnal curry. If you like these videos, please subscribe and share them with your friends. And if this sounds like something that interests you, let's get to it. When is the last time you consciously took a breath? It seems like an obvious thing because we do it all day long, but we do it subconsciously and we tend to do very shallow breathing. This doesn't serve us in terms of our health. So before we get into our meal today, I just want to take you through one really quick and easy breathwork style that you can use to help you to calm your nervous system and focus on anything that you're doing. It's called box breathing. And very simply, you need to breathe in for 4 seconds, hold the breath for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and hold the breath for 4 seconds. So therein lies our box. And this is a technique used by the SAS and other similar agencies because not only does it calm the mind, but it also focuses the mind and makes us more alert and able to get on with the task at hand. So just have a go with me right now. I'll count with my fingers to help you through it. Empty your lungs, give yourself a shake so that you feel nice and loose. It's always a good way to start breathing. And then let's breathe in for 4. So ready? Hold it for 4 seconds. Breathe out through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold it for 4 seconds. One more time. Okay, how does that feel? I hope really good. And if you repeat that over and over, maybe 5 or 10 times, you should feel the effect of it. Okay, so with that in mind, let's get to cooking. You can see that I have been chopping my beetroot because the colour just doesn't come out of your hands for a little while. But we also need to start off our curry with leeks. So I have 4 leeks, which I have taken both ends off of, and I'm just going to chop these whilst I talk to you a little bit more about why breathing is such an important and free health hack. So every exhale that we take consciously moves us into our parasympathetic nervous system. That's where we're resting and digesting or feeling relaxed and calm. As a general rule, your exhale should be longer than your inhale. So ideally you can double it and you might play around with doing 4 seconds in and 8 seconds out, or 5 seconds in and 10 seconds out. That is a great way to be breathing as well. Why do we care? Why don't we just breathe the way that we do? Well, breath work, and it is just that, the work that we do, the conscious work that we do with our breath, can improve our mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical well-being. Breath work has been shown to reduce stress and anxiety and to increase energy and boost immunity. Breath work also lowers blood pressure and improves circulation. It can help you to manage physical pain and emotional pain. It strengthens the lungs. Breathwork helps to release toxin from our body, improves your mood and your self-esteem. It also supports longer, deeper sleep. Believe it or not, breathwork can increase your muscle tone and improve your digestion. Breathwork supports healing from trauma and recovery from addiction. As I said at the beginning, it can also improve your focus and boost your creativity. So why not focus a little bit more on your breath today? Once the leeks have softened and started to just gently brown around the edges, then it's time to add in 2 garlic cloves and a thumb-sized piece of ginger, which I cut up earlier. And I'm going to sprinkle those in now and just cook it for another 2 minutes to let those flavours infuse. Then we are going to add our spices, which really make this dish just such a healing cornucopia. So we have 3 cloves and 2 cardamom pods. We have 1 heaped teaspoon of turmeric, my absolute favourite spice. I think turmeric is magic. It is so healing. half a teaspoon of cumin and half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1 teaspoon of ground coriander. So once we've got all of those spices in, I'm going to just mix them in to the leeks, ginger and the garlic so that everything is well distributed. Then I'm going to add in about 100 mils of water, just enough so that it's no longer frying on the bottom of the pan. And I have red and green fresh chilli, which I am adding into my curry as well. Chilli is a question of taste, so really it's just as spicy as you like it, add that much chilli. And I'm just going to wait until these ingredients simmer, and I will put all of the ingredients in the description as always so that you can just go and grab the list from there if you can't remember everything as we go along, or if you're not keeping up with this right now. I'm also going to add black pepper, and that is just to activate the compound cumin in turmeric, which is what gives it all of its healing powers. So the two work really well together. And I'm also going to add salt, because any good chef will tell you that salt is the key ingredient. As I see the water starting to boil, I'm going to add in my tomatoes. And at this stage, I am also going to add in my beetroot. I have 3 medium beetroots here, cubed to a size that is pleasant to eat. And I also have a small pumpkin cubed. Again, you don't need to add the pumpkin. I just had one in my fridge that I wanted to use. You could in fact use any other veg here. If you wanted to throw in some red pepper, it goes really well. Or if you have some carrot or celery to use up, that works great. So you can get creative as long as you have the beetroot as the main star of the show. I'm just going to stir all of those ingredients in thoroughly, and then I am going to leave them to simmer here for about 15 minutes before I add in my coconut milk. So I'm just trying to soften the pumpkin and the beetroot. And if you think it needs a little bit more water, you can add it. And another alternative would be a stock. So if you have a broth that you've made, chicken broth is one that I use a lot, or beef broth or vegetable broth, anything that you've made that you have sitting around, you could add that just to add extra flavour instead of plain water. So while the curry is just gently simmering there, I want to talk to you a little bit more about why breathing is a free health hack and why this recipe is brilliant for your lungs. So the key ingredient here, beetroot, is rich in nitrates, which have been shown to be beneficial for the lungs. Nitrates help to reduce blood pressure, increase blood flow, to relax blood vessels and reduce blood pressure. They also help to optimize oxygen intake. If you're lucky enough to get the greens that come on top of the beetroot, then you'll find that those are actually even more packed with also magnesium, folate and some other minerals. So they're perfect to include if you can. The beetroot I was using today came unfortunately without the green, so I haven't included them, but I do recommend that if you can. A study of over 2,500 people on turmeric showed that curcumin, that compound that I mentioned, which offers all of the healing benefits, improves lung function. And the black pepper that we added is what we need to activate it, making up to 200 times more bioavailable and therefore usable by our bodies. Lycopene is an antioxidant beneficial for many things, including lung health. And tomatoes, included in this curry, are one of the best sources of lycopene. And ginger and garlic, as I always say, are fantastic for reducing inflammation. The curry is also rich in fibre, which is fantastic for your digestive health and your gut. So it's an all-round anti-inflammatory healing meal. Back to breathing. One more that I'd like to try with you today is a technique used to help people when they're having panic attacks or when they're suffering from acute anxiety. In that moment, we are short of breath because our brain believes that we don't have enough oxygen. And that's why you get the quick breathing typical of panic attacks and anxiety. If you can breathe in for 4 seconds, hold the breath for 2 seconds, and then breathe out for 8 seconds, you trick the brain with the 2-second hold into thinking it has enough oxygen, and the panic attack or the anxiety will immediately start to calm down. If it's not you suffering the anxiety or panic attack, then you can try this breathing technique with the person near to you who is, and ask them to imitate your breathing to help them to calm down and come out of it. So just to do that together, it's in for 4 seconds, hold for 2, and out for 8. Perfect. I hope you enjoyed those 2 techniques, and if you want to find out more about breathing techniques, there are tons of resources out there. When you've had your curry simmering for about 20 minutes and you see that the pumpkin or other vegetables and the beetroot have started to soften, then it's time to add in your coconut milk. So I am adding in 300 mils of coconut milk. I just took the cream off the top of my can of coconut milk, so I'm not using the really thick part, and that's how I got to my 300. You could even use a little bit less than that, but I really enjoy the coconutty flavour. So you just want to stir that in and give it another 3 to 4 minutes to heat up and really infuse that flavour, and then it will be ready. When that coconut milk has had a couple of minutes to cook and infuse, you then want to turn the heat off and just leave it to rest for 10 minutes before you move it into the bowl you're going to serve it into. It allows the flavours to really infuse well with one another. And once that has all settled beautifully in the pan, you are ready to plate it. So you could accompany this curry with your favourite naan or bread. It also goes really well with wild rice or quinoa. It depends on where I'm at in my cycle as to whether I want to accompany it with nature's carbs, like a rice or something. But it's also just super delicious on its own. I recommend a squeeze of lemon and some coriander to garnish. And there you have it, an antioxidant, vitamin C, nitrate-rich dish that is going to support your lung health and allow you to breathe more freely and easily, gaining all of those fantastic benefits from breath work. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that you've learned something from it. If you have, please share it with a friend, and I will see you next time. Take care.